Hey, welcome to Walking in LA. We're gonna do a kind of pointed walk today, kind of a spooky walk, I guess, and take a look at some historical stuff. Hey, yo, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. So, we're probably gonna go to a bunch of places that we all have already been to before, but maybe look at them in a different way. Always something fun happening here on Friday, but that's not what we're here for. We'll be back in this area on Sunday for the Chinese New Year parade. Oh, thanks, Yo-Yo. Oh, you're so great. It's really great. My first stop I wanted to show you guys on this spooky Friday walk is, this is the Pico house. It's 424 North Main Street. It was established in 1870 and built by California's last Mexican governor, Pico. It was a pretty successful hotel until the late 1800s, and it fell into decline. Supposedly haunted, by the way, by Pico himself. The famous crime in the area is actually in 1871, probably right around here somewhere. A mob of 500 vigilantes attacked Chinatown, because this was actually the original Chinatown where Union Station was, right? And lynched 18 Chinese men. So really dark racial incident. So the hauntings here, and there are plenty of people that have come here. Hey, Trisha, thank you so much. Happy Friday. Thank you so much. There are a couple ghost hunters on this one, by the way, episodes. I can't do that. I only have some app that I downloaded to hear ghosts speak. So what you might hear phantom screams, whispers, and shadowy figures in the courtyard, which we probably won't see. But this whole hotel is built around a courtyard. Pico, incidentally, was the last Mexican government. I keep saying that instead of governor, but I know words. Last governor of California. He died penniless, and he had a gambling problem. Trisha, I'm definitely looking forward to that ghost in your library. We're gonna take a peek through the gate and see if we can see the haunted courtyard. See if I can get it to focus. No, that's how spooky it is. So, thank you guys. Your support does really mean a lot. There are two of us here. One's manning the text, and I'm babbling about ghosts. So this place, on a scale of 1 to 5 ghosts, I don't think it's that spooky. So I would probably give it 2 ghosts. So we're gonna walk south on Main Street to somewhere we've been before, actually on request. Actually want to just hang out there. Sounds way better than ghost hunting. We'll go there next Friday when we look at the tunnels. So anyway, boop. Main Street. How's everybody doing on Friday? Hope you're ready for the superb Owl Sunday. Hope your team wins with whether they be the New England Patriots or the Dolphins. I'm rooting for both of those teams, by the way, and I know neither one of them are playing. So I'm surprised, actually, always by how small-ish downtown is. So I guess my perception was that it was a lot bigger. Oh my gosh, Trisha, that's really too generous. You're very sweet. Thank you so much. I'll buy a new microphone or something and name it Trisha, and I won't lose it. I lost my microphone the other day. Maybe looking at these old murals from the Olympics that are kind of still there. So here is your Friday traffic. And it's not even rush hour. Oof. Book it because I want to make this light. I don't know, definitely this is where the protests on Sunday were. People got onto the freeway. It is breezy, it is chilly. I brought a brand new microphone the other day. And when I was down here following the crowd, it slipped off me and I didn't even notice. So I'm using a clip-on microphone and the microphone is in my pocket. So it's about 50, what does it say, 56? 60 degrees. Actually, I'm kind of sweating. I'm wearing a sweatshirt. Let me get rid of that horrible ticker. Really need to watch where I'm going. So we're at the back of maybe we'll never get rid of the weather ticker. It says the air quality is 57, but I actually feel like it's in the 30s. So, not ghostly, but I read about this. I'm gonna relocate my cord. I have a notebook for this, by the way. That's how old school I am. So across from City Hall, this used to be a really, I guess, hip happening little lunch spot. And this used to react to the traffic and play music and lights. Very 70s. Before my time, for sure. But kind of cool. You know, Trisha, I absorb things better when I write them down. So, although I originally typed this, I then wrote it into a steno notebook, which is my favorite because they're cheap, and now I'm actually just looking at it for bullet points. So these books are $1.59, or maybe they're $2.59. The killer is they're too big to fit in my pocket, but I write so I can read it later. I usually just write in block text. But I actually thought of, I have a second phone that I don't use with no phone number. I don't know how I got it. I think Sprint talked me into getting a second phone for free. And I thought about putting it on that and walking around with it, but too high tech. I will turn on the wind suppression. It gets really muffly with the wind suppression, but we'll turn it on anyway. Let me know if that sounds any better. And don't let me miss the walk sign. So, as I was kind of researching this weird ghostly stuff, I think some of it, on my French, is bullshit. And so, I included one thing that I figured out was bullshit. But I kept it in to give you an example. And I don't love this story because it's not a very nice story, but I will tell you it's a story I remember hearing as a kid on the East Coast, and you all will remember it too, but you usually hear this story about the city that you live closest to. So we'll get to that. Sorry for the tease. Let me get rid of that stupid weather thing. There we go. So I'm pretty sure on the other side of City Hall there's a little protest going on. Might pick up on that later. Run into it organically. I don't know what this park is. Oh, City Hall U. I don't really often walk on this side of the street. We got some nice brutalist architecture here. And then this water fountain. I'm not going to show you the inside of it. Alright. Try repositioning the mic. I could hold the mic. How is that? Let me know how that is. I'm holding the mic. You didn't see the inside of that. Obviously, also not on our tour here, but I can't resist walking into something. Oh, it said City Hall South, not City Hall Youth. This looks like one of those 60s pendant lamps that someone just threw in here. I bet this is from the 70s. 1972. This one's not full of clothes. Look at that beautiful tile work. I would take a bath in that maybe. This is the one that's debatable. It looks maybe like a place where I could do some laundry. Ooh. Sorry. That one's full of trash. An LA tradition. Okay. I'm just kidding because you know I love LA. All right. You know, for a $200 thank you, I might take a bath in there. I'm kidding. I don't even know if there's such a thing. Or maybe that's what I'll do when I reach 1,000 subscribers. That'll be the challenge. Take a bath in the public water fountain. I get to wear a 1930s bathing suit though. Wiggle, wiggle, sorry. There's the LA Times building. I love to point it out. It just sits there, dying. Hey, hey! It is a beautiful sunny day. It poured rain this morning, actually. It's about 60 degrees. The air quality is really good. The sky is blue. I was actually hoping this walk would be a little spooky. I don't know if I need to push this to cross the street, or maybe I should wait for this. Fire ambulance. Is that what they're called? Sorry about that. Fire ambulance, food pump, whatever. You get it. It's hard being live. So out of all the places we are gonna go to today, this is probably the place I'm afraid of being around the most. So we probably won't spend a ton of time here. But hey, you didn't miss it. I ended up streaming for 3 hours from downtown, the food stream. And then by the time I got home, I think I was like just so thoroughly drenched that I couldn't just walk through the rain for another 2 hours in the evening. So we'll do the first one this week, or this coming Wednesday. It's weird. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear me. I forgot that I stuck my microphone on my...
What's up, man?
Hey! I forgot I stuck the microphone on my, whatever you want to call it, my steno pad. It kind of blocks the wind, and this building is most likely fenced to keep people from spray painting on it. It is the police headquarters. There have been a lot of protests downtown. Actually, is this a bank of police cars just lined up? Let's cross like nosy little bitches, and then walk down that side of the street. I meant I was a nosy little bitch. Sorry, not any of you. I really gotta watch the signal. This is Cooper Donuts in Nancy Valverde Square. LA does love a donut, by the way. Yeah, Cooper Donuts. I don't know if that's a donut shop here, but wouldn't it be fitting? Hey, VG, there are a ton of downtown theaters. I think it had the longest strip of theaters in the world at one time. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe outside of New York. But what I find crazy is the amount of old hotels in downtown Los Angeles that are still there, that were built to be the cream of the crop hotel at their time and only lasted 20 years. Most of these hotels that we're going to look at are just that kind of situation. So you probably have guessed it that we are walking up to the Cecil Hotel, which was built in 1924, built as a luxury hotel. This one fell into disrepair within probably 20 years and became famous for suicides, crimes, serial killers. It inspired a American horror story, the Hotel one. But I think it literally is an amalgam of all these hotels. Sorry, I got flummoxed by the wind so strong. Let me get this situated. I'm using, I lost my microphone. It fell off of me the other day, so I'm using a slightly different setup today, which may account for the microphone sounding windy. So we'll try, but we'll try. Well, DC 32, you've come to the right place, although maybe not the right day. I did lose my mic on Wednesday. I actually have another one, which I'm using, but I'm using it with some, I forget what they're called, the clip-on microphones. I just didn't want to lose a second microphone, but you know what? I think the sound is better off of that microphone, so give me a second to hook it up. I just hope I have the wind muff or whatever that's called. Come on. All right, I got my muff. Hang tight. I'm gonna unplug, get rid of these wiry microphones. They are kind of a pain in the ass anyway. And then I'm gonna not clip this one onto me. That's what I did yesterday, or Wednesday. Hold please, turn your TV or whatever down. This might make a clipping noise, or clicking noise. Okay, let me know if that's any better. I'm just speaking directly into the microphone instead of wiring it up. I look like probably not the best thing to do downtown. I look like I'm working undercover. I've been wired. All right, so I'm gonna put that onto my collar for 1 second. I'll stick all this crap back in the bag. And then I'm gonna keep my eye on the microphone. Let me know if that's any better. Great. All right. So back to, I aim to please, man. Also, I really appreciate you watching. I don't watch anything that sounds really crappy, because I also probably can't hear very well anyway. Years of listening to headphones, full blast, lots of German dance music. All right, so our next stop is the Notorious Hotel Cecil. Again, this one, 1924, luxury hotel, built as a luxury hotel, fell into disrepair. It is probably the best known of these creepy hotels in downtown Los Angeles, but I don't think it's the one with the worst. There's one that's more haunteder, if you will. But this one really does have an effed up vibe. I only said that for you. About the German dance music. Although there was some stuff from the 80s that was pretty good. So, hey unknown. DC 322. This isn't necessarily a neighborhood that somebody from out of town would come to. But that's not to say you shouldn't. This is really the most historic part of Los Angeles. Our final stop dates back to 1781. What? We're heading towards the Cecil. So I had the, and we're gonna go visit the Barclay too back there. I typed all these addresses in. I trusted that I could probably find them in Aura, but I had ChatGPT put them in order, and I asked it not to make me backtrack, and I think it actually did. I corrected one thing it did. Don't trust that ChatGPT. Here's another old hotel. We're not covering the Hotel Rosslyn. It didn't come up as having any like haunted activities. So I heard on a stream that the Hotel Cecil was haunted for sure, and there have been ghost hunters that have gone there. And then I saw, sorry, somebody screamed. They screamed Heather, and it scared me, you know. Heather. Anyway. Well, hey, this is like looking at New York in the 1970s down here. I quote this often, I think it's John Mulaney, but he's like, LA is where New York went to die in the 70s. And you know what? I remember New York in the late 70s. For years, my aunt lived on West 25th Street. So I hung out a lot in New York growing up. So, LA has a lot of New York love, by the way. Don't believe the hype. You know what? That's That's true. New York is all of this, but just kind of crammed all together, right? They don't have places for the trash. I remember, oh, they're filming something across the street. We should have crossed. At the Nickel Diner, the home of the maple glazed donut, the originator of the maple glazed donut. The first time I had a maple glazed donut. They always film car commercials down here. I don't think that's the car though. So anyway, we're almost to our hotel, our first hotel. I highly recommend, if you're coming into town though, that Nickel Diner is a place to check out. It's been around, this isn't the most savory neighborhood, of course. It's been around since like the 20s, I think, and it's still open, still operated. Maybe not by the same people. That's because, thank you so much, Giuseppe. I actually have a filter on my camera, so it doesn't show any of bad stuff. If there's someone crying, it replaces the face with a smiling or laughing person. If there's someone screaming, they turn into a singing person. It's all positivity. You know why it doesn't look that bad? Because people with complaints and who have shit to say usually speak the loudest. And so, sorry. Here it is. The oh so creepy Hotel Cecil. So I'm going to read a little bit about it, and then we'll walk by a little closer. I just don't want to walk by with a pad. You know what I mean? So, again, built in 1924, etc. Luxury hotel, etc. Suicides, crimes, serial killers. I'll make their home at the Cecil Hotel. So, there are so many suicides and murders or incidents that take place around this particular hotel. I can't really list them all. If you want a deep dive, maybe we could spend the night. Let me know in the comments. Anyway, so 2013, you all remember that. Alyssa Lamb was found in the rooftop water tank after an eerie CCC. She disappeared basically, and then no one could find her, and then some guests complained about the water in their room being brown. So then some CCTV footage showed up, and apparently she had climbed, the footage doesn't show that, but she had climbed to the water tower, and that's where they found her. In 1985, Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, lived here while committing 13 murders. And you know, there are a lot of hotels down here like that. Also, in 1991, Austrian serial killer Jack Unterweger strangled 3 women while living here. The crazy thing about Jack Unterweger is that he was already convicted in Österreich, right? So, how did he get here? To Los Angeles. You could disappear here in the 90s. So the hauntings there. Phantom whispers, moving shadows. I didn't write anything on the next page. An overwhelming feeling of dread, especially on the 4th floor. The video I watched recently on this, or one of the videos I watched, was a guy who lived here, and apparently was a man on that 4th floor who was just going crazy, probably on drugs, and just throwing stuff out into the street naked. But apparently the 4th floor is the crazy floor. And there are more stories about it online, but so many murders and eerie happenings and so little time. So we're gonna walk closer to it. I'm not going in. Bro, it is, I would probably concur. This is just side note here. Right? I'm not going to check in today. I think I'd need to bring my own water. That's Cole's. They say they're the originators of the French dipped roast sandwich, but I actually think it's Philippe, which is by Union Station. Anyway, so I'm going to walk by it. If you look at the old pictures online, this hotel is off the chain cool. Like inside, it's probably not so much that anymore. I think it is a I'm not sure what you call it, but it is, people do live here. I guess you could rent a room. It's a transient hotel. I don't think that sounds proper. Please don't hold it to get me. I mean, against me. I'm walking and talking and woo-hoo-hoo. So I'm excited. It doesn't look as scary in front today. And by scary, last time there was some crazy ass pit bull just barking. This hotel was built in 1924. And so like all of these hotels, it has a beautiful grand entrance. Sorry, my cord is too short. I've got cord issues. I'm not gonna go in tonight. There's always cool music downtown. So we're gonna flip around now and go to the Barclay Hotel back over there. This is another hotel that was luxurious. Actually, the Barclay Hotel was the first hotel in LA with electric elevators. So it was originally built for the wealthy, but it later became known like the Cecil, murderers and serial killers. The crazy thing is, I have never really heard much about the Barclay until I looked it up. And then once I looked it up, I remembered one of the stories I had heard. I just didn't know it had taken place here. So many cool hotels down here. At some time in the 70s and 60s and 50s, though, they were all renting rooms by the hour, I'm sure. So thanks so much for watching today. It's a wander and a chat. And thanks for joining on a Friday heading into Super Bowl weekend. Which I love Super Bowl weekend because the streets are empty. Yes. In regard to the tunnels, there are tunnels. We're gonna touch on the tunnels today for sure. But next week, I'm gonna take you to where they're purported to be and to some of the entrances of them. I'm not going inside of a tunnel though. I read about the secret Starbucks for celebrities and the tunnel that's on the way to the airport. That one I don't believe, but maybe. But these tunnels are like prohibition tunnels. And then there's also some weird story about tunnels under LA built by, I don't know. I can't remember if I saw it on a Y-Files or something like that. The Anunnaki, maybe the tunnels for the Anunnaki. I hope the Eagles win also. Nobody should win 3 times in a row. When you say artwork deep in the tunnels, like artwork made for the tunnels or artwork stored in the tunnels? I have to keep checking for my microphone to make sure it's still there. I clipped it on foolishly. There are a ton of like little walking tours you can take down. Hey Trisha, I would. I grew up in a house where somebody unalived themselves. I didn't know it growing up, but I knew who the person was. So most of these hotels have been converted into lofts. I would be interested in going down there to those tunnels actually, but I don't want to break the law to do it. But Trisha, my whole life we had a house probably from the 1800s, but we moved in there. My family bought it in maybe the 70s, and we bought it from like the original owner, and who was probably old and on his way out, so to speak, to being unalived. And he left boxes and boxes and boxes of pictures. So growing up, I used to go through those pictures all the time. So I kind of knew, when my mother told me the story about, everybody in the neighborhood knew. We like grew up in the Addams family house. So when I found out, like when I was 35, it kind of made sense to me. You know what though? This is really like I think this area was kind of hot 10 years ago, you know? So I think it might be, that's a Canadian building for what that's worth. It might be on its way back. There's a weird pulse to downtown LA. Like a street will be pretty cool, and then it'll go out of style, and then everything will move over to somewhere else. So this end's kind of getting the treatment right now. All right. We are approaching. We are approaching the Barclay Hotel, 103 West 4th Street. I do not think you can stay here. I think this one might just be housing also. So this is one's from 1897, but it's LA's first hotel with electric elevators, originally built for the wealthy, and now onto the good stuff. So, this is the groovy Hotel Barclay, which was actually originally named the Hotel Van Nuys. The rumor is that they changed it from the Hotel Van Nuys to the Hotel Barclay because they didn't want it to be associated with Van Nuys. But actually, it was because of what I'm about to tell you. So, it says 1896 on there, but 1897 is what I have for when this was built. In 1928, Gordon Stewart Northcott, the Wineville chicken coop murderer stayed here. In 2000, this is the story that I heard about the Barclay. Its residences. Helena Golay and Olga Rutherschmidt, known as the Black Widows, lived here. And what they would do is they would befriend homeless men. And then they would take out life insurance policies and then stage a hit and run for the insurance money. So, a long list of tragedy and violence for this hotel also. 1897, a waiter died from a 3-story fall down the elevator shaft. 1901, another employee fell down the elevator shaft. In 1902, the hotel butcher was killed during a knife fight. And then 1975, serial killer Von Greenwood, the Skid Row slasher, murdered Samuel Suarez here. The list of crime and murder here is pretty endless. The hauntings are the same. Whispers, figures, flickering lights. Take a little look closer at the front door. But these are residences, yeah. I kind of love the far enough, apparently. I mean, this is not that big of a hotel. Also, this was an elevator that was electric and operated by a elevator operator. So perhaps it was before they put like protections in place. You know, at one time at the top of the Empire State Building, the fence was just a rail. So before, and I guess what I'm trying to say is they probably didn't think that people would just walk into it, and they retroactively made it so that you couldn't do that to elevator doors. I really don't know what the heck I'm saying here. But anyway, Hotel Barclay. This really doesn't give me a feeling of a hotel built for wealthy people. I mean, I don't even see it under the facade. So I want to show you something. You can see this online. This shoe shop closed in 1990, and the doors were never opened again. You can't even see it, but everything was left. The owner left. There's a video. I just kind of loved it. And this was probably their little cafe. Super cute. So, serial killer Von Greenwood. Let's turn the so. All right, let's go to the. So this one is the Bradbury Building, which we've seen before. And I actually believe this, but I don't really believe the spooky part of it. So y'all, I think the Bradbury is one of our most famous pieces of architecture. For sure. Lost Souls. That's probably one of the older buildings that we're going to take a look at today. And we're going to walk over to Broadway. This is actually a nice sidewalk. They need to put the trees back in though. That must have been a theater also. It kind of looks like one. Non-stop sirens. So we're heading over to Broadway right now. Gonna take a peek at the lovely Bradbury Building. Definitely one of LA's most iconic buildings. I went inside before. I'll try to peek inside again until I get kicked out. That's my new thing. I have no idea where the nearest hospital is. I would say if we're looking at this Spring Street, it's somewhere to the left, down the left way. I don't even know if that's east or west. But I also found out during my like research on these hotels is that there are a lot of like department stores. I can't believe I got kicked out of that place on Wednesday either, but you know, it probably, oh no, made that guy feel good, so I hope it did. I have no idea what the police chopper is for, but those are pretty common here. It's when I hear the military helicopters that I kind of get scared. Or I bother to look up, I should say. I can see City Hall peeking up over there. The sky is beautiful. The moon is out. I love a good daytime moon. Don't make any jokes. It's called the Copper Key. I'm not really sure what it means, but it looks like I stupidly crossed the street right now, by the way. I'm gonna jaywalk back to this side. It looks like the Key Bank. We have to use a different entrance. I'm gonna go in. So, the building is famous for its wrought iron staircases and grand staircases, and it was featured in Blade Runner. In 1895, the only crime I could really find, besides one that happened on the sidewalk, an enraged lawyer shot his rival in a passion crime. That's all I got. A passion crime. And at night, guards report phantom footsteps in hushed voices and cold areas. I think that's just about any ghost thing. that you have. Hushed whispers, cold spots. Oh, the coffee smells really great. Okay. So we'll do a pop inside. And I think this security guard drives people up the elevator, so he might kick me out. But yes, it's a historical landmark, and right, so probably the type of elevator that you could easily fall down the shaft. Dude, I jump like a cat when somebody scares me. I just fell down the steps. So we're gonna go to Spring Street now. We're on Broadway. Let's go down here. 501 South Spring Street to the Alexandria Hotel. But we can look at some theaters on the way. Right? It's like a little respite. And that security guard was just chill. Do not go east. Old friend, why? I'm heading towards 501 Spring Street, actually walking probably the right direction. So I'm going a little east of where I am. But we've been all over here, haven't we, kids? I'm not sure what's for dinner tonight. I had a wrap last night that I made. Okay, thanks. So, wait, east. East. What's east, though? You've got to tell me. Oh, yeah. Thanks, old friend. That's not really my scene anyway. I'll try not to be too spooky then. And now we get to a bonus location. This place is haunted by the ghost of telecommunications company Sprint, which no longer exists. I literally see water coming from somewhere. The top of a building? Do you see that? Am I crazy? I mean, this wouldn't tell us one way or another, but it's raining building. Well, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in my life. It's kind of hard to make out, but there's like literally a ton of water. Okay. This is our hotel right here. I hope it's actually water too and not the water tank that is overflowing. So this is my favorite hotel that I researched of all, and also I think the scariest one. So this is great because the next two are just across from each other, I think. Hotel Alexandria, now leasing residences. Micro lofts now available. Hotel Alexandria, established in 1906. A lot of ornate stuff was removed from this building in the 50s. That's what I read. So you can see some of those little faces and whatnots. There were more of them at one time. So again, this guy was built as one of LA's most prominent, sassiest hotels, and actually this one hosted Hollywood's elite, such as Charlie Chaplin, Joan Crawford, all of today's favorite stars, Taft, Woodrow Wilson, Roosevelt, Winston Churchill, Fred Astaire, Greta Garbo, all hung out here. So it's been converted into apartments, but its ghostly past lives on. So they really did a number on this. Actually, this is the ballroom. The ballroom you can look up online. It's got a beautiful glass ceiling. It's like an atrium that they painted black during World War II. All fun stuff. So take a look at this building really carefully. It's actually that building and this building. So 1932, an MGM producer unalived himself here. His name is Paul Byrne. He was found dead in his hotel room. Many suspect looked like suicide, but many suspect it was a little bit more than suicide. He was married to Jean Harlow. You can totally read more crap about that online. And we're gonna wait for those cars to go by. But so at some point they built a second wing, which you can kind of see right there. It's a little bit taller. When this hotel was first built, that property right there was farmland, something to that effect. So I lost my gimbal, but that's all right. Hold, please. Okay. Anyway, so that part that you see right there, which is a slightly different color and maybe a little more Greeky looking, that hotel, that building, you can only access through this building. That building has no stairs in it, no elevators in it, and in 1938, because of a dispute, they just sealed that building up, and it has not been opened since, actually. So that top part has sat sealed up since 1938. Creepy, huh? So the hauntings here are phantom ballroom music, which is a new one for us, and temperature drops. And then at the sealed off wing, ghosts have been rumored to have been heard there, trapped on that wing. Also, this one has a lady in black that haunts it. I don't really find any story about her, but just a lady in black with a long black dress, a crown of thorns, and blood dripping from her eyes. Maybe just to scare the kids. The 9th floor was once a luxurious penthouse, and is particularly famous for paranormal activity. So, interesting. Now we're going to go stay on Spring Street. We're going to go to the Spring Arts Tower at 453 Spring Street. So, just up the street a little bit. Hey, Ruben, and when I was looking this stuff up, this is one of those stories that I kind of talked about in the beginning that it really, I think, is bull crap. So we're going to go, not a hotel, but an arts tower, the Spring Arts Tower, which is established in 1914. It's at 453 South Spring Street. It was originally known as the Hellman Commercial Trust and Savings. It's a major financial hub before the Great Depression. We are in the historic banking district, I believe. Oh my God. So this is the last bookstore. Oh, I forgot, it was also the Crocker Club. Which I don't really know. So, actually, this is where we're going. This is 453 South Spring Street. And there's those guys, they like to use the N-word, not me. So we will take that out. I should follow them and show their faces. Anyway, what a bunch of losers. Okay, so Spring Arts Tower. Here we are. Established in 1914, originally the Hellman Commercial Trust and Savings. So after the 1929 stock market crash, multiple bankers jumped to their death from the upper floors. You have heard that story If you lived in New York, you heard that story about New York. If you lived in LA, I guess you heard that story about the banking district. So apparently that never happened. So that was a crash. No, multiple bankers did not jump to their death from the upper floors. It's false. However, there are ghostly figures pacing the halls, crying, maybe because they lost their money in the stock market. And then cold gusts in the empty offices. Again, I don't really think this is haunted. Let's go to the Biltmore Hotel, which is our second to last stop, and then we can just wander around. So we're gonna walk over to the Biltmore, which is at 506 South Grand Street. Mr. Williams looks like he might have a few legends, actually. Crossing over Broadway one more time out of the jewelry district. Oh my God, please remember to like and subscribe. Thanks so much. I made a sticker for that. Thank you so much. Start a fake account and subscribe again. I'm just kidding. Thank you so much. We're entering Pershing Square. We're gonna end at Pershing Square, or end the ghost part of the tour at Pershing Square. But before that, we're gonna go to the Biltmore, which you remember from Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters. I don't think it was called that in the movie though. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Me too. I actually would love to do this every day. Yesterday, I did it every day in January. I actually would like to maybe take a day off a week. But every day, I did it every day in January almost. And when February came around and I tried to make a schedule, I kind of had live stream withdrawal. So they built this underground parking in Pershing Square in the 60s and kind of cut the park off, actually, from the surrounding area. Trisha, just send me some tamales. Thank you so much. It's so sweet. I just want to get some AdSense money. I want YouTube to pay me for walking around. But you guys are really sweet. Right? Okay, so it's definitely in Grand Theft Auto, but it's also in LA Noire, sorry. And in LA Noire, it looks like it looked in the 40s. So, here we are at the Millennium Biltmore Hotel, which I looked at the price of rooms. I mean, they're not that expensive. I mean, a cheap room. I mean, on a Tuesday. So, it goes without saying, this was obviously built for luxury. This one, again, hosted Hollywood elites. And if I were gonna come from out of town, I might stay here because the price is right. Oh my gosh, stop. He ducks in. Thank you so much. Right? I almost have enough for a cheap room on a Tuesday now. I looked up what was haunted about this hotel, and quite frankly, I couldn't find much. The gold room at this hotel, supposedly, hey milk, supposedly is haunted. So this area is not a nice area anymore because sections of the city just kind of fall out of favor. So the bar at this hotel, this is the only kind of crime besides a stabbing. The link to mystery for this hotel is this is the last place the Black Dahlia was seen alive. And the only other really historical thing I could find out about it that was interesting was the first Oscars were held there, and then in 1970 the Gay Liberation Front protested against the American Psychiatric Association right outside of this hotel because they were classifying homosexuality as a mental disorder, which is seriously crazy because across the street, we'll get to that in a second, but anyway, the hauntings here, the voices, flickering lights, especially in the gold room, which may be linked to the Prohibition tunnels. We're going to the tunnels here. So we're across. Thank you. I should have come. I was hoping it was going to be gray out today because it's too beautiful for spooky stuff. So here's Pershing Square. If you're in New York, you know you've got your own Pershing Square. This parcel of land dates back to 1781, believe it or not. So in 1781, let's go over to it. I mean, I'm just showing you a wall. Oh, the Biltmore's pillows have been plumped for assorted royalty, including Franklin, Roosevelt, Harry Truman, and John F. Kennedy. The Beatles were dropped by helicopter on the hotel rooftop and hid out for a few days. Oh, there you go. 1781, so we were still part of Spain in 1781. Kind of crazy to think of. I've only ever lived in states that were part of the United Kingdom. Also, like, most of the stuff is like about 100 or 150 years old that is historical here. And so it's a real treat to find out that something goes back to 1781. This park is the epitome of brutalist. in design and 70s, and just not a nice space, I don't think, to be in. It has an ice skating rink in the winter, which we went to, but it's really cementy, and I don't know. You'll see, and maybe you'll like it. Different parks for different folks. So again, in 1781, this is part of the original Spanish Pueblo of Los Angeles. It was a farmland, believe it or not, and communal space. It is good for skateboarders. And it was called La Plaza Abaja. In 1886, it was renamed Central Park, and it became a really popular spot in the city. In 1918, they changed the name from Central Park to Pershing Square after World War I, General Pershing, and then they kind of revamped this park again. That's where the ice skating rink is. And then throughout the 20s and 50s, so this park has a reputation for being really crime-ridden. And, you know, I think, especially throughout the 30s and 40s, and one of the reasons why I think it was considered so crime-ridden is because this was actually a popular meeting spot for the LGBTQ community in the 20s through the 50s, before they built the parking garage. And it was illegal then, so there were certainly raids, arrests, sting operations that took place down here, adding to its crimey reputation. In the 40s and 30s, I think mob people were reported to dump bodies down here. So 1918, Pershing Square. 1950s, that was the major redesign where they put the park in, underground parking, and it really altered it. You have to step up to step into this park. It's kind of like a platform. It's a horrible design. So rumored mob dumping ground in the 40s. In 1964, an unsolved murderer, a woman named Pigeon Goldie Osgood, is a well-known resident of the neighborhood, and Daily Pigeon Peter was found brutally murdered in her hotel room. And the crime remains unsolved. And can you guess which hotel she was living in? Hotel Cecil. They never found her murderer. They had a few leads, and one of the leads was the fact that another older woman was murdered a couple weeks before her, exactly the same way, and I'm not going to go into the details, and they never found that murderer either, so perhaps it was yet another serial killer. And then my favorite ghost story of them all is that one of the hauntings here is the Native American woman who was known for washing, back in the day, her dishes and bathing in the LA River. Unintentionally, her activities contaminated the Zanya Madre, which was our original water ditch in LA, and the city's original aqueduct. And local farms and homes were affected by this. Some suggest her spirit is seen levitating near the original water channels, which were situated a few feet higher than the current sidewalk. And then Pidgey Goldie Osgood was also murdered near here and has a strong association with this area, and they say her spirit still lingers in the area. So, in conclusion, LA may dazzle you with its bright lights and silver screen, but beneath that facade, shadows stretch long and deep. The past echoes in the whisper of the wind, and the whisper of the wind screws up the sound in my microphone. The flicker of a dying street lamp, loud breath of something unseen, or cold breath of something unseen. Spooky. Anyway, that's a conclusion of my spooky tour. Thanks for joining. Let's walk around a little bit. And if you guys anybody wants me to dive deeper into anything that we talked about, I'm happy to. I love knowing history and learning history and sharing history. But don't ask me about the Hotel Clark, because I don't know. Unknown, you are so welcome. Unknown, I keep walking by Raymond Chandler Square when you are not on the chat. Raymond Chandler Square is in Hollywood, and he wrote a book there, like at a hotel around there. I wonder what Hotel Clark is all about. So next Friday, as I mentioned, I'm going to do tunnels. I'm going to see if I can get somebody to let me into something, but probably not. I'm not that persuasive. There's yet another empty hotel down here, I think. Right? There are more empty hotels down here than there are empty theaters. And every one of them has a story to tell. I'm just glad a lot of these buildings have survived. I just hope that they can be, I don't know, resuscitated or reused to survive another 100 years. Right? That's the first thing I think of when I'm looking at a building from 1924. Oh, well, I also think that about the tunnel. So in doing research too, the funny thing is, like, I also read a ghost story about Angel's Flight, which is coming up. This is not the original spot of Angel's Flight. I think it's south of where it originally was. So in the ghost story for this one, a passenger was stabbed on Angel's Flight. Angel's Flight is short. Hey, focused. They never found the murderer. And sometimes on foggy evenings, you can see that person standing at the top of the stairs, a ghostly figure. It's not the ghostly figure from the stabbing because it happened somewhere else. So I think that's a fake story. Hey, Ralph. Welcome. Angel's Flight. This walk was actually, I paced it. It was supposed to take 2 hours. If anybody is also interested, I'm happy to share a printout and map of the walk if you're ever in LA and you want to see this stuff. Right, Focus? The buildings are amazing. So this looks exactly the way it looks, it's just not in the same spot. It only costs $1 to ride. All right, Beduckstein, it's a date. We will meet up with you. I just want the train to go up. It's the shortest railroad everywhere. Oh, hey Focus, you just missed it. We went into the Bradbury I can't remember which stop it was. 6? I'm gonna come back and take a ride on this. I never remember to bring my dollar. I know I'm gonna wait for it to go up. Angel's Flight is an old railway. It used to be up a little, I think, north of here, and it just used to take people up and back and forth from the top of this hill to here. And it's $1. I don't think they'll take my credit card though. And it's a funicular railway. Anybody know what funicular means? I don't. This used to cost a penny. That's like 99% increase since 1901. That is a lot. I don't know how you pay. Oh my god, with tap card. Let's go. Oh, my tap card is my phone. It's a really steep incline, but it's not that bad. I have my tap card on my watch. Let's see. I can't find it. So you can use your tap card. That's crazy. I stupidly do not have a tap card. I just have it, the app, an app card, I guess. Oh, that makes it even scarier. I hate cables. Okay, give me 1 second. Let's see if I can get on that. I was gonna try to get on with my tap card, but I think it just shut down the stream. Want me to run up the stairs by it? And the other one's coming down. We went to that neighborhood where you can only access it by elevator a couple weeks ago during my Hollywood walk. I just can't imagine having to deal with groceries. I lived in the Hollywood Hills for a while, and the inaccessibility of living up there, I was really sad to hear about the teenager. I was there, you know, the other day. When I was really proud of those kids for being out. The only rebel thing I ever did in high school was, I'm not going to tell you, but I got in trouble and I had to go to the principal's office, and I was able to explain my way out of it using constitutional rights. I guess I was not stupid.
It's not this, hey, it's not this one.
Really unfortunate. It's really sad. walk through the tunnel. I'm kidding, I really don't want to. I don't want the carbon monoxide poisoning. Also, the eeriness of walking through a tunnel built in 1902. Tonsil stones. I was mostly good, but I was very political. About certain things. Government spending money on military was something I really hated as a teenager, or weapons especially. So when I marched with them, I walked with them for a couple blocks and talked to a couple of them, and we just marched, from City Hall up, I think up this street right here. I wonder what the situation is that somebody got stabbed. It's really sad. I mean, those were kids, teenagers, really. Cherry Pick Cafe. I've never paid attention to this hotel before. The Kawada. I thought that stream was just going to be me walking around like I usually do, and then I think it was Allie was like, I hear screaming and they're singing, and I followed it. This is also another one of those crazy tunnels. The only tunnel I hated more was the tunnel in Boston that went partially under the water. And for some reason I can't remember the name of it. It was the tunnel that you would take to Logan Airport. Heading back down to Broadway. I hate earthquakes. They scare the living out of me. But they happen so quickly that I feel like I don't notice them, or they end before I have a chance to be too scared. But it's really like you can't control anything about it. And it's a really weird feeling. I generally hear about them and don't feel them though, because I'm driving. No, they don't. They do have earthquakes in New Hampshire though. And recently they had an earthquake in Boston. I think Allie had told me about that. I don't know, with the magnetic pole shifts, right, which it's doing right now, maybe it's causing earthquakes. I kind of love a little like weird science fiction. I'm not a QAnon lover, but I love kind of crazy stuff. Nothing too outrageous. So, fun stuff. So a quake, what does it feel like? It's kind of hard to say. It's just like the whole, sometimes it feels like a really big tractor trailer driving outside, just kind of shaking the house. I think that was my quake feeling. Another time I was talking on the phone to a friend of mine who's on the other side of town, and she's like, we're having an earthquake. And the second she said that, out of the corner of my eye, I saw some like weird, like the door jamb move. And then I felt the quake for a second. I think we're looking at 60 degrees right here, right now. It's beautiful. I have a sweatshirt on and a sort of nylon jacket. And I definitely could have just wore a t-shirt and a nylon jacket. And I'm always cold. The aftershocks. I've never felt the aftershocks. I didn't live here during those huge earthquakes from the 90s. The Northridge earthquake. Usually I'm cold at 60 degrees. Actually, yeah. I don't know, for some reason it just feels warm today. And usually after it rains, it also feels a little nippier because of no moisture in the air. Hey, there's our fan, she's saying hi. Which is nice. She's not our fan, but she might be. She might like and subscribe. She's watching IRL. Nothing says government building like that, I think. Or that. Let's see. So yesterday, or Wednesday when I was here, looks like they got it off. It had been kind of redecorated. Relatively close. There are huge farmers markets in LA that I've been going to, although I haven't gone for a couple of years, for a long time. It looks like they got a lot of the graffiti off the building. Oh yeah, that's must be what the police tape is for. I can't walk any further. The Parker Center is up there. I saw a picture. The Parker Center is one of the oldest buildings. It's to the left. The Dorothy Chandler Pavilion. I love walking up there. Since it doesn't seem like I can make my way through the park, let's go this way.
Is that the video from up close? Damn. Would it be possible if I could see
it? Let's go check out the Parker Center. I think that might be a better time for it. And there is certainly some theater tonight. Hey Ty, how are you? We just did a spooky walk through downtown LA and now we're just sort of free-form hanging out. We took a look at some spooky hotels and places. There's my jury duty building. And we'll be back there on St. Patrick's Day. You know, I don't mind. And now it's you call in and eventually they tell you to come in, but I totally effing forgot to call on Monday. I called on Sunday, and of course on Monday it told me to come in on Tuesday, and then on Tuesday is when I remembered, so I just showed up on Wednesday. I got chastised. Not here. Oh, jury duty. Sorry. I always screw it up somehow. So, Sunday I called. It told me not to show up. I was supposed to, so I showed up on Wednesday and asked if they still wanted me. I got chastised and are part of my people. Never really celebrated St. Patrick's Day too much. I'm not supposed to talk about jury duty, I don't think, on this property then. Here. It was a sushi case, believe it or not. Hey Ashley! Hey Ashley! And I don't mind serving on a jury. It's kind of like my civic duty, right? And it's fascinating how it works. Or doesn't work. Or works for some people. Anyway. They may have, I just noticed that there were connection issues on the screen. Maybe they put something up here. It should be clear now. Or clearer. LMK. Oh, we got some lights. I really wish they would fix that thing. I mean, we have bigger problems, but... Yeah, I missed that it was a shitty connection. I think it gave me a message saying shitty connection. And I just ignored it and kept babbling. So jury duty. Do you want to really hear that story? I'll give it to you short. I had jury duty in December. I wanted to postpone it because it was the day after Christmas or something like that. I got it for March. It does look like a spaceship. I wish it would light up and spew. It's weird, there used to be a plaque somewhere telling you what it was, but someone stole it. Can't have any brass plaques anymore. So, Dorothy Chandler Pavilion is right up here on the left. We've walked up here before, and I find it's a really lovely little step park up. But this is one of the first buildings in this area. And there's a picture of it with no buildings around it, just the dirt and the hill. I love this building. Right, the water fountain from the Go-Go's video, that's the Beverly Hills water fountain. How do I know that? I don't know that. I mean, I don't know, but I feel like I heard that or found that out. This is a lovely, struggling theater area. It is. It's progress, though. Maybe. Hey, Ayana, I don't know who would steal a plaque, but last week we were in the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, and there were a lot of graves where somebody had printed something on paper and taped it to the grave because the plaque had been stolen. There was a little jazz music. I don't know how vibrant the theater ever was in Los Angeles, though. There are always rumors that they're going to close the Center Theater Group. I think that was the round building over there. Also, people steal copper out of the light poles too, so there's huge swaths of the city that don't have lights on the streets. So here's what our water department does. They have these really fancy buildings. I think that California might have, I need to look it up. So I actually think our population decreased but then increased. And there are definitely not more apartments or houses. So if I don't know who moved to Texas and Arizona and Miami besides Elon. But chances are I wouldn't be renting his apartment after he moved anyway. So I never came over here before until recently, and this is like my third time. I just think it's pretty cool. So I think a lot of people are not out also. Los Angeles, just 1/3 of the population of Los Angeles is an immigrant. I'm not talking undocumented or documented, I don't know that, but 1/3 of this city is an immigrant. And so I think a lot of people are actually afraid to be out. This is literally just an amazing courtyard to walk around. You can kind of see the Hollywood sign over there. Trisha, I agree, it is really sad, and it's something I'm just pretty pretty passionate about, actually. We try to limit, you know, talking about too much political stuff here. Because I'm a jerk and I'm really argumentative about it. And I wanted a place where I could talk to people regardless of what they believed, and good people, right? All good people. You know, I've noticed my skin is really pretty dry too. I am trying to increase my intake of water. Scary hotels and underground tunnels and ghosts. I'm gonna someday come over here and eat lunch. I think it's Cetaphil makes a really great lotion for dry skin. I already drank one. Also, I don't drink enough water, but I'm trying to. No one will drink as much water as Trisha. I think that's her claim to fame. Water and tamales and a ghost. I have no idea where the Tinkle Tower is. I'm really excellent at not ever having to go to the bathroom though. It's a gift. I hope I don't regret it when I'm older, but it's a gift. You should do a tamale stream. I'm trying to convince, I have a really nice friend who lives in North Carolina, and you know they had that terrible, the whole city that he lives in is destroyed, and he's a chef, and I was like, you should just do recipes online or something like that. I might have to eat tamales for dinner. We've talked about them so much. Oh, alright. A Mexican hot pocket. I think the calzone is that Italian hot pocket, but I think of what would the Mexican hot pocket be? Definitely not a tamale. Trisha, you know people love those 24/7 cameras. You should do that. I would totally, like, I want Ty to do a walking channel, and now I want you to do a 24/7 live stream. I'm gonna be your first subscriber. The hot pocket happens after. Yeah. I'm gonna stop for a second at the coat check. And plug in again. Make sure we're charging. We are charging. Great. Snap, snap, snap. All right. Let's make sure, sorry, I just left my microphone. I think Sea Life Cam would be fired too. If you could get some seals, maybe orcas, or just the ocean. Milk was a bad choice. I don't love that. I'm not gonna lose the microphone. I'm holding it. I'm holding it. I'm not gonna let it go. I'm not flipping it onto anything. I read that the salmon hat. I didn't read it actually. I heard about it on NPR. That's because there's so much salmon, they can play with their food, right? I saw the guy put this on his baseball cap too. I guess I could do that. There, I just did that. Let me know how it works. This is my favorite traffic cop in all of LA. He helps me across the street twice. So my mic is on my hat. I think it probably looks goofy. But I ain't trying to be a fashion plate. Great, that's what I'll do from now on. I don't always wear a hat. Maybe I'll clip it onto a barrette in my hair. Or maybe I'll wear one of those Madonna headpieces. I saw... Oh, I have 2 battery packs with me. Because once I ran out of power, right? And then once I forgot a cord. So I really try to, I'm OCD about charging things also. So I keep them charged all the time. One of them's solar. And I love it. Actually, I just set it on the windowsill and forget about it. And then I got one for $9.99, which is lightning fast. However, I might have to try plugging in the other one. Let's look at City Hall for 1 second. I'm gonna fold my notebook, stuff it in here. Don't really need to keep carrying that around anymore. I'm at 10%. Plug that in, and that's not doing it. Hold, please. Weird. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I might have to end it here because I'm at 10%. For some reason, we're not getting a charge to the phone. Let me try this other guy, although these are fully charged. Ah, boo! I might be able to, hold on. Wait. Do I need to turn the charger on? Hold please, let me see if I can figure this out. Just watch this water fountain. Oh, thanks, that's exactly it. It's not plugged in all the way. That happened to me last time. Hold on. Ha ha ha. Yeah. So I think it's not actually the mic that's not plugged in all the way. It's like all the way. It requires a weird knob on it. Hold on. Oh my gosh. I was looking for the microphone, by the way. That was what the holdup is here. We're all charging. I didn't plug my stupid thing in all the way. And that was the problem one other time that I went to buy the cord. I'm a demi-professional. So I was kind of freaking out for a second because I couldn't find the microphone that I clipped onto my, my hat. But here we go. So this rapid charger that I got, I was at 10%. I'm already at 20 now that everything's plugged in properly. You're very generous walking in LA. To be fair, I'm kind of a dope when it comes to cords. So it takes a village to build a channel, apparently, because now I'm clipped my mic onto my hat and the sound's great, and I got that feedback thanks to you guys. So I always appreciate feedback, by the way. Never butthurt. I must have pressed the noise cancellation, because that does it. Let me try to unpress it. I want you to hear some city noises, of course. Hey Joey B, welcome back. That's our City Hall cat. Her name's Marilyn. So I don't think I can go lower than the next track here. get crazy. Wait, are people doing that on purpose? It does buffer. I'm heading out of here though. It's because I was really tired of waiting to cross that street again. Definitely not hopping on a bus. The problem, the buses go, right, the bus ride is too long to get back home. I remember watching reruns of the Brady Bunch and Alice in one episode talking about taking a bus to get somewhere. And she's like, I'll take this bus to get to this bus and then connect to this bus and then connect to this bus to get to there. And that's exactly what it's like to take a bus here. It's the most disjointed bus system. The sun is setting. That's why I decided to not get on the train. And we're going to walk towards the setting sun, even though we've already been. Maybe. She ended up, actually, in the 70s, she could have ended up anywhere and it probably would have been a little nicer than it is today. I wish the bus system were free here. That would be delightful. And I think, well, I think it would encourage more people to take the bus. It's not incredibly expensive at $1.75, but we're gonna go up to Disney Hall and walk down Grand to watch the sunset, because I think that'll look grand. Also, some of the Dash buses are free, or maybe all of the Dash buses are free. Like, you can go to Griffith Park for free on a bus. The one Dash bus, I think the Dash bus that goes to Griffith Park is free. I tried to pay. I think Europe really does public transportation right. I mean, the most experience I've had with public transportation is Vienna, which is a loop, basically. The Disney Concert Hall is a really interesting piece of architecture. I wonder what it will look like in 40 years. Like, are we just going to be like, oh yeah, crazy 2000s? I never forget Japan. Japan is actually, or Little Tokyo rather, is just down the street. That's pretty awesome. The $60. I think different people pay different prices here on like monthly passes. And they do give some people free passes based on income. I keep seeing a sign for it, but it's in Spanish, and I don't know that many of the words. I foolishly took German and French in high school. not foolishly, no offense. I love German, but and I probably should have taken Spanish or Chinese. Bonjour. Although the French that they taught was a little bit different because it was probably closer to the Quebecois French because I grew up in New Hampshire. California is a very generous state. Very people first, Commonwealth. Right, in the future you'll probably just have a headset. But you know, German is especially fun to know because not many people know it. So I have a couple of friends who speak it and we can talk about people in German. So all these museums are free. How awesome is that? You do have to make an appointment for the Broad, the Mocha over here. That is free. I don't think you need to make an appointment. We're gonna end up behind the Biltmore this time, but this street is actually a double-decker street. Underneath is another street. Actually, on YouTube right now, on some of the commercial breaks, they're showing The Weeknd's new video, and he literally is in the ambulance under this street in that video. Temperature, let's see. It's got to remember shut this off. It is starting to get cold. 59 degrees, but it's kind of getting windy out. And it's the Broad. And you can see my reflection, you can see my microphone on my hat. No jokes. Here's where it really starts looking GTA, I think. Hey, actually, you're right. I'll just have to wear a hat more often. I just have that kind of hair that once you put a hat on, you have to only wear a hat. The Los Santos Tinkle Tower. Free. Oh no, I'm like a camel. I don't ever have to go to the bathroom until I decide to. I know that's too much information, but gonna cross this street. Yeah, you know, a camel holds water in its humps. I don't really know if I can cross. I'm gonna not cross. Last time I turned off the view, I couldn't figure out how to turn it back on. I figured it out now. I don't drink iced coffee very often. I used to be a huge iced coffee drinker. Like probably 2 or 3 big coffees a day in addition to my morning hot coffee. I do have hot coffee every day. Usually 2 giant cups and then I have a little decaf. But caffeine doesn't have any effect on my ability to sleep, but I think it will make my heart race sometimes, which scares the shite out of me. But it really doesn't scare the shite out of me because I never have to go to the bathroom. But I love coffee. Coffee, anything. Coffee flavored ice cream. Coffee flavored cake. Coffee flavored cookies. It also makes me poop in the morning. But that's it. Just that morning. It's my morning starter. Okay, we are gross. Talking about our bathroom habits. Well, we've been around. We've known each other for like a month now. Milk was a bad choice. How am I amazing because I can hold it in? I worry about that for my future though. I have not heard of Amish coffee soup, Mary, but I am gonna check that out. It depends on the day. I make a cup for myself, like a giant cup at 6. Or maybe I drink a cup and a half at 6, and then I make another pot at 8:30. And then I drink that coffee till like 12. And then if I want more coffee, I usually will mix a decaf, but I tend not to drink coffee after maybe 5. But it does not keep me awake. One day I drank so much my heart was like 179 and I was like, okay. Thanks, Apple Watch. You know what else? If I don't eat a lot either. So I can have coffee and not have breakfast and not eat till like 1 o'clock. I'm gonna check that out, Mary. I also love bread a little too much. Huh? I feel like some people need breakfast and some people don't. If I have breakfast, or a bad breakfast specifically, I'm hungry all day, like non-stop hungry. But if I don't eat breakfast and just have coffee, maybe if I eat oatmeal or a banana, I'm not so hungry. But if I had like toast or pancakes, I just want to go back to bed. Actually, pancakes. I love bread too much also. And pasta. So the compromise is I just try to have wheat bread. Love me some avocados. For a while I was eating so many sweet potatoes and avocados that my skin, well, I guess this was more the sweet potato, my skin started turning orange. Hello, David and Bangor, Maine. Good evening. Or what time? I don't know what time it is. I'm assuming it's not 6. It's 5:23 is my guess. Or 5:30. $5:37. Why doesn't my weather thing tell the time? Or maybe it does. That bus is turning. So this is the back of the Biltmore. We're gonna cross the street here. And the guy from Monopoly didn't care. This is where we saw the country group one night. Milk was a bad choice. I don't know how you get into the under of that street though. The Millennium Biltmore. The hot young country singers. It's another Biltmore entrance. How fancy is that? I'm not allowed in. I'm wearing sneakers. I think there's some ghosts coming down the stairs. I wonder if the Prohibition Tunnel is back here. Do you mean in regard to the type of people or the amount of people? BD. It depends on what's going on. I think it's busier down here, like in certain areas during the week, like the jewelry district. We were just there. It doesn't seem very busy today, but like that's usually busy during the week. Little Tokyo, that's busy every day, but like Monday. Oh my gosh, we love a pursuit in LA, by the way. That's our city sport. You're correct on both accounts. It is not very busy down here. I'm not on a very busy street. I'm kind of a couple blocks from where the action is. Or where some action is. There's a big TV screen up there. I think the weird thing is about this buildings is that they're just so mixed with old stuff. I tried to get that skyscraper. The amount of people willing to risk their life crossing the street down here is kind of nuts. I love the quaint vintage streetlights though. Everything downtown Los Angeles has always had a vacancy issue. Like when I first moved here, I remember my friend's father saying most of these buildings are like 30% occupied, if that. And I think after COVID, it probably has only gotten worse. The housing. They need to create housing. So if these buildings are vacant, I know it's tricky, but they need to create housing out of them. Exactly. They're all props. You know, the one thing I'm glad about though is that these buildings don't get covered with ice that can slip off in the wintertime. They honk here a lot too. I think we've just gotten lucky today. I heard a honk. And it's mostly just the yellow cab drivers that honk in New York City. That's what the movies have told me. Is it haunted? Hey, Tecate time. Hay milk is a bad choice. I think that's a rite of passage, meeting Andy Dick. Yes, I've met Andy Dick. Yeah. I think everybody in Los Angeles has an Andy Dick story. He's literally a legend in LA. He's kind of like folklore. Like, especially for people who are, you know, of a certain age, I guess. I don't know that he's that often out and about. I did have a friend who helped him one time in a store. She worked in a kitchen store. And he came in to buy a gold coffee cup filter. And he told her what it was for because he wanted to give himself coffee enemas. That wasn't my experience with him. Mine wasn't a bad story. Like, he just ended up, like, glomming onto us and hanging out with us for a while. I wonder what that... Look at that weird bridge from one corner of that building to another. Kind of interesting. We are at 8th and Figueroa. That is a gorgeous building. It is got a name. Gentlemen prefer Renaissance Revival. It's the Bellevue Terrace Hotel, now the Jonathan Club. Right, so 3-story Victorian-style hotel with 140 rooms, 3 turrets, was considered rather far out when it first rose on the northwest corner where the stately brick building that houses the Jonathan Club is now located. And of course, you know, it had some rundown years. I can see that here. Huh, interesting. It's a beautiful building for sure. I would like to live at the very top in the penthouse. The future is clean and modern with steel and glass. I actually love this row of buildings because it's a really great mix of the old and the new. So thanks so much for joining. I haven't said this in a while. I guess it's a call to action. Please like, subscribe, and chat. We're walking in LA.
Hey, are you doing directions?
You were looking for
No, I'm
7th Street.
I'm supposed to be on Figueroa, but I just moved to this place.
You're on Figueroa.
It's kind of like in the hills. It's Avenue A or B. There's a Home Depot. There's a Harbor Freight.
I
Jack in the Box.
I feel like that's going to be that way, but I would check with somebody else because I don't know.
Well, I have a phone with no Wi-Fi. See, these go that way.
Yeah, I don't really go too
Sad,
far
I just
that
came
way.
here 2 hours
Like, do you
ago.
remember what you saw when you were walking here?
It's Pasadena. I need to do towards Pasadena.
Pasadena's that way. That way.
Well, I mean, I saw something.
I think you might, yeah. You'll have to go to Union Station and take the train to Pasadena. You cannot walk to
It's
Pasadena.
not in Pasadena. It's
Oh.
on Pico Road.
Oh,
By Home Depot.
if there's a Home Depot, I'm 90% sure it's going to be that way because this way just goes into the city.
Okay, yeah, there's some big hills.
Maybe that way.
It says there's a street that runs perpendicular to Avenue.
That's that way. That's far though. You've got a couple miles.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
I'm with you while it's travel.
Take care of yourself. She actually is going to Avenue 28, which is... Can you hear me now? Oh, that's right. I used to go, that's really funny that you say that because I used to go to Pasadena from Union Station when that was the stop, and a couple of, like a month ago, I tried to do that same thing and I had to go back to the 7th Street Metro Center. Okay, well maybe let me know if that's any better. I don't think she was really going to Pasadena. I think she was going like the other direction because she kept mentioning a Home Depot and a Harbor Freight, which I'm just guessing. Oh, hold on. I want a little ambient sound, but whoops. Let me know if that's better. Okay, let me know if that's... Hey there, now. Hi. Alright. Let me know if that is any better. I think the, not. Anyway, hopefully that's a little better. Oh. I put the microphone in my pocket. I'm so not used to having it on my head. I guess it's never really good to stick it in your pocket. I never said I was smart. Huh. I think I get a crappy connection at the end of this block too, so bear with. Hey, how are you? But I'll keep my eyes peeled for the message this time. Telling me crap connection. Yeah, so this is still not there. We're still a little early, but like one of our couple downtown malls. We'll walk through it. Not very busy for a Friday night. But it's early. There we go. There's some more people. That Target's slamming. Right? It's a little early. They're just getting out of work. I kind of love these buildings. They remind me of another city. I don't know what city. Maybe Chicago. Whoa. I hate the railing. I just sort of slipped. Just the buildings sitting around. I don't know why it reminds me of Chicago. It just does. So there's another mall around here with a Macy's as an anchor store, and unfortunately that Macy's is gonna close. I usually do have somebody walking with me, but that's a good idea. Somebody who has a leash. Keep me on a leash. Where's that Macy's? For some reason, whenever I'm down here, I can never find it unless I'm going to it. It's at 8th? I've shopped at that Macy's before for something. And then, what else? Some other store that they have there. Uniqlo. Yeah, thinking 7th. And I'm on 8th. Wow, I guess my signal didn't cut out. Last time when I was on this block, or the block behind us, it was terrible. Yeah, the block, that's what it's called. Thanks. That's where the unemployment office is. I had to go there one time. I got unemployment and I collected it for 1 day longer than I should have. And I paid them back. And then when COVID rolled around, they wouldn't give me unemployment because I took 1 extra day. And I got to go to court and win months of unemployment back, like a year and a half later. And by court, I mean I was on the phone talking to the judge. But I won my case. I got all this money when I didn't need it. Perfect timing. Really? Only the Sheraton. Yeah, with that unemployment thing, I just made an error. And when I realized it, I paid them back the next day, or like the second I realized it. Agreed, Boomer. I even called like a congressperson to try during the COVID thing to get somebody to help me. And I actually helped myself, but the congressperson, like in July, reached out to me to try to help me. At that point, I would have been gone if I hadn't helped myself.
10 out of 10 friends say you have to go to that wing place.
But yeah, the EDD, the DMV, I usually have a good time at the DMV, except for once. This lady was just an ass to me for no reason. Hotel Figueroa I would stay at, actually. Hey Boomer, they do not make it easy for you. And yeah, people are no good, except for the people in this chat room. They're quality people. I know, it was just the shittiest time. I spent hours trying to call and get through to somebody. Hours. But I gotta say, like, California is usually easier on people, but that was not easy. Guess what I'm looking for right now? My microphone, which is on my hat. I was like, where's that microphone? The Grammy Museum. And right there are haunted abandoned Chinese skyscrapers. They're not haunted, otherwise I would have done this on my walk. But they are abandoned and graffitied. And you couldn't pay me to go in that building. It's funny though, because I kind of like talking into the mic and holding it, but I think this is actually more efficient. I'm watching the meter and it's consistent. So this is my new thing. Or I'm gonna wear one of those sweatbands around my head with the microphone on it. I think I could rock that look. We did. We went to the Hotel Cecil a couple hours ago. Or like an hour ago. We went to... I don't know what I've done with my... Here's a person who just can't stop for people in the crosswalk. Sorry. I've never stayed at the Hotel Cecil. I think, though, the Hotel Alexandria is spookier. That's what I discovered doing my research of murders and ghosts. Hotel Alexandria has a whole wing that's bricked up. That's probably another hotel right there. Joey, isn't there a bar there? Like King's something? I can't remember what it is. I think it's the oldest bar in Los Angeles. Hey, sawdust. Oh yeah, there's the Waymo. I've never seen a sadder Jaguar in my life. Joey, I've never gotten in a Waymo. They just are recently now allowed to go on the highway or freeway. So I've never gotten in a Waymo. Can you sit in the driver's seat or no? Is that forbidden? Because I just feel like I would need to sit in the driver's seat. Hey, yo, yo. So here's... Hey, Tecate time. So here's the real question. Cole's or Philippe was the first French dip sandwich? I think there's a debate over that. Cole's is 1906. Philippe is the restaurant I've actually ate at. There's a Standard Oil building erected in 1926. Italianette. I have to say, sometimes I'm scared. I really prefer to drive myself, but if I have to get in a car. But sometimes sometimes I take an Uber. Sorry, it took me a minute to make my point. Sometimes I take an Uber and I just don't always love letting other people drive me. That's terrible about the Waymo accident. I hope everybody's okay. I'm not opposed. I'm just not on the freeway though. Please don't talk about the gas prices. This is a very expensive gas station. $5.49 for 91. I actually think I pay under $4. or maybe just over $4 on the other side of town. Hey, Milk. I don't think the rent is very inexpensive down here. I do think it's a little less expensive than the west side, for sure. But it definitely is not cheap. Wow. Like, who can afford $8 gas by Union Station? That gas station in Beverly Hills, the old, cool 76 with the sloped roof, that's full serve, and the gas isn't even $8. I thankfully don't drive very much, so I only put like $25 worth of gas in my car, maybe every other week. I wonder how much, Joey B, that same rent would be today. 1900 isn't so bad. That's because in Germany you buy liters, right? We gave up on the metric system in like 1977. So we only know about liters when it comes to soda. My apartment in Hollywood was $1,400 when I moved in 2015, or $1,395. It actually is only maybe 1,600 now, 16 some change, because rent control. Here's an angel. Oof. An angel with a cat face. That's $1.75 a liter, or €1.75 a liter. Well, it's almost the same, right? Hey, Roach, we are downtown. Gee. Puerto Rico sounds like paradise, actually. That's probably a remnant from the Olympics then, that angel. Let's see what this building is. So thanks so much for walking with me. We were doing a spooky tour earlier, and now we're just checking out LA, downtown. I'm gonna stick my camera right up into this. This looks weird. No, but the Bonaventure is on my list. The Bonaventure, and also, like, we keep talking, we've never been to a comedy club, which in Los Angeles, they're on every corner. So I think in the next couple months I want to go to a comedy club. I don't care who I see. You know, such a weird building. I don't care who I see. But I think I need to have that experience, that LA experience under my belt. No booze. We'll look it up. Well, it'll probably be easier to park in Hermosa Beach. Hermosa Beach is lovely. Definitely a different vibe than our Venice and Santa Monica. It's just very laid, a little more laid back. I really hope that chorus, verse is a karaoke bar. But it probably isn't because it's got some sports stuff happening. Carmel is beautiful. Carmel is beautiful, actually. But that's a really very rich community. I stayed in Carmel once. We rented a house, or my friend's mother rented a house in Carmel, and she didn't stay for the whole time, so we went there for like a week or 4 days. And it was a huge house, walking distance to the beach, had an elevator to go to the second floor. It was decorated like the Golden Girls. And that's not a positive. A lawyer can afford to live in Carmel. I can only afford to live in caramel, made with corn syrup. It smells like cheese on a grill. Have you ever thrown cheese on a frying pan till it becomes like a Cheez-It? That's what it literally smells like. I don't know if that's a good cheese smell or a bad cheese smell. I should be doing a comedy show. I think my humor is subjective. This place is La Grande. Who knows what it really is? I'm making a left. Let's go to the block. And go to Macy's and get some samples. You have a La Mer counter there? I kind of hate Macy's, TBH. Not really, but just the fact that it consumed so many like regional department stores and kind of homogenized them. And then we don't have anything like our Filene's or Jordan Marsh or Dillard's anymore because they're all Macy's. The block is another downtown mall, similar to the one that we went to or walked through by. And that Hey Alexis, I went to the Cecil Hotel when it was still light out. At the very beginning of the walk. You're a clock. I'm a clock. Who am I? Timex? Hey Joey, it's Joey DTLA. Oh, please check it out. And if you watch it and there's anything you want to know more about, just let me know. I'm happy to dive in deeper. I did a pretty peripheral, tertiary kind of touch on the hotels and topics. There's really more to talk about though. So this is the block. Which is unfortunately going to be, well, it also has the Sheraton with the cleanest bathroom I've heard. I think the Macy's has been here for a while, right? And then I think everything else got built up around it. Hey, Brave Bull. I'm usually freezing cold, but I don't know what the temperature is right now. Once I know, I'll probably get scared. I mean cold. I think it's like 58 now. What do we got? 57, 14 Celsius. Hey, Daniel, I don't think I don't think we need to go to the Macy's. Everything must be sold. This is my longest stream. I think it's probably 40 minutes longer than my one from Wednesday, which was, no, actually, I think the Venice Beach one is the longest. But Wednesday I was about almost 3 hours because it just didn't stop. Oh, this location is closing also. So maybe this mall is going bye-bye. How cute, Paper Source. You know, I'll be tired when I get home, probably. I don't, what I keep forgetting to do is start my walk on my watch. Oh my God, I didn't forget to do it today. Hold on. We've gone almost 8 miles for this walk. 7.33 miles, sorry. Hey, yo. And I'm gonna talk over that song. I don't have to go back and erase it later. And here's a really fancy Taco Bell with a security guard. I love noodles. I'm gonna have to check it out. I've only ever eaten at the other mall because I really love bread. Look at that Taco Bell. It's huge and glamorous, right? It sells beer. But I think you'd have to be... I love udon. Look at that building. I think you'd have to be glamorous if you were next to that building. Or maybe it's part of that building. So if you try Taco Bell, go to Taco Bell. Don't get it delivered. Everything gets not crunchy by the time it gets to your house. And my suggestion is Crunchwrap Supreme. Crunchwrap Supreme, black beans, no meat. I'm going to check out the Intercontinental for sure. I probably won't be able to do it today. I probably won't be able to do it today because I gotta walk some dogs soon. So, but thank you for letting me know. I'm gonna definitely check that out. I've been dying to go in there. Breakfast club. I'm ready for breakfast. I'm ready for food, actually. So, I would love to stay there too, actually. So we'll put that on the list. I'm definitely going to the rooftop on that. Look at the top. So tomorrow I stream again. I don't know what we're gonna do tomorrow because that's a free form. But I'll probably go on at 2 or 3. I'll put a notice up. I keep calling it the wrong thing. I'll definitely put a notice up, and then I'm gonna be on Sunday for the Chinese New Year parade. So if you're not watching the Super Bowl, you know, you can watch the Chinese New Year parade with me. There is a platform at the top. I feel like there's also, one of these buildings has like a slide on the outside of it. That is something I am not interested in at all. Like a glass slide. I really hate heights. Even the thought of that platform kind of makes me sick to think about. I don't know what's for dinner yet. I gotta wait to get home and find out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna click off, hop on the subway, walk some dogs, try to stir up some food, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for clicking in. Thanks for the support, liking and subscribing. Take care. Have a great Friday night.